Hey guys, how are you? The Euro group stage has come to an end, and go there because there's a lot for us to talk about. The idea is to make a general overview of this group stage, highlighting the positives, negatives, surprises, and disappointments, as well as some aspects of each group. And of course, look a little at this switching, which is always a highly anticipated moment. Everyone has this expectation, even more so when there is the issue of third-place teams passing through. So they go to the very end, to the last group, to make sure who goes to each side of the bracket. The third-place teams change as the groups progress, and you'll see who crosses paths with who. And now we have the keying defined. In the next few days, I intend to make perhaps even one preview video per day of the round of 16 games. This way, I will be able to talk a little more about the characteristics of the teams and start designing the games, perhaps making a video for every 2 games. A video for Saturday's games, a video for Sunday's games, one for Monday and one for Tuesday, so as not to be too overwhelmed with information. Let's start with the big stories, because I think that's the big point of the group stage. We always keep an eye on stories that attract a lot of attention, and there were quite a few. Of course, the biggest story was Georgia. Georgia achieved an unprecedented qualification to compete in the Euros as an independent nation, and the 3 games had very interesting chapters. The debut against Turkey was one of the coolest games of this group stage, with Georgia fighting hard in the game and having a chance to equalize, but ended up conceding the 3rd goal at the end with an open field. In the second round, against Czechia, Georgia had Madville as a highlight, keeping the team alive for most of the game and almost winning at the end. They achieved the first point in the country's history at the Euros, something already historic. But this left the group in the situation of needing to beat Portugal in the last round. Portugal entered with reserves, which contributed to Georgia's victory, but that does not diminish the size of the feat, beating Portugal with a great performance, especially in the second half, and getting through to the next stage was truly incredible. Now, Georgia will face Spain in the round of 16. The pressure and favoritism are on the other side, but from Georgia's point of view, whatever comes from now on is a lot of profit. Another great story is that of Slovenia. Slovenia surprised in terms of collective organization for a team without so many individual resources, managing to leave a good impression in the 3 games. Against Denmark, despite a poor start, they showed competitiveness in the second half. Against Serbia, they had victory in their hands, but ended up drawing at the end. Against England, he performed very well, especially in the first half. Slovenia reaches the round of 16 as one of the most organized teams in this Euro, knowing how they want to play and managing to execute it. Furthermore, he is another debutant in the decisive phase. Austria also deserves to be highlighted, although not a huge surprise in terms of executing the plan. Finishing first in the group, ahead of France and the Netherlands, was unexpected. Austria showed a very clear style of play under Ralf Rangnick's command and can dream big in the selection. Now, let's get to the disappointments. France, despite all the expectations, did not get going. Mbappe's absence from some games and Deschamps' frequent changes to the team contributed to a campaign below expectations. However, France is a team that tends to adapt better to the knockout format, so they could still surprise. England was the team that performed the least good football among the favorites. With poor matches in the group stage, expectations were high for the players' individual performance, but the team did not live up to it. Gareth Southgate made some changes, but the team is still not convinced. Croatia can also be considered a disappointment, failing to advance from the group stage, mainly due to their draw with Albania in the second round. Italy, despite passing with drama, remains an unknown, while Belgium had ups and downs, leaving different sensations throughout the games. Among the teams that stood out the most, Spain presented the best football in the group stage, especially with Nico Williams' performance against Italy. Germany also deserves to be mentioned, showing moments of good football, especially after their debut against Scotland. In terms of surprises, Slovakia was one of the teams that most impressed tactically, managing to press and score well, especially in the first half of the games. So, that's an overview of the group stage. In the next videos, I intend to talk in more detail about the teams and the round of 16 clashes. Stay tuned and see you next time.